What's going on, everybody? Mr. Pummel here for another online virtual lesson. We're talking all about the underhand toss today, which is a skill that's useful for a variety of sports. If you played softball maybe at a younger age, fast pitch softball at the high school level or beyond that. Also, if you were playing a softball league post graduation, they have all kinds of mixed leagues that you can play that with. It's also the beginning skill of something like a sport of bowling. You'd also be able to use it in something like cornhole, which we're going to talk about a little bit more after we get back from break. So the first thing I want to do today is break down the skill into 4 simple steps that you can learn and follow along to. And then I'm going to teach you some games that you can practice with before we have a little tossing tournament later on in the week. So 4 cues that you can use to toss correctly. Step number 1 that we're going to talk about is to take this arm back. Okay, so arm is going to go back. Second step is we are going to step forward. Now the thing you're going to want to do is you're going to step with the opposite foot than the one that you are tossing or throwing with. So if I am right-handed and I'm tossing using my right hand, I'm going to step forward with my opposite foot or my left foot. So again, step 1, the arm goes back. Step 2, I step forward, opposite foot. Step 3, I'm going to move forward. And step 4, I'm going to release and follow through. So let me take that again step by step. Arm back, step, forward, release and follow through. And that's how I'm going to toss. So it'll look something like this. Now there's a couple mistakes that beginners make when they are tossing. One of them being that they toss with the wrong foot moving forward. So everything could look right. My arm goes back, I step, I go to toss, I go forward. But again, I stepped with the wrong foot. I want to remain balanced and be able to really push forward with this. You'll see, especially if you were someone who learned volleyball, how to underhand serve, it looks very similar to that skill as well. So another thing that beginners do wrong is they decelerate. What do I mean by that? I mean when they come through, because they're trying to hit a particular target, you try to aim too much, and what you do is you slow down to try to get it there. 2 things happen when you slow down. Number 1, you lose power. Number 2, though, you will also lose distance on it. Because when I'm aiming, I am, again, losing that power or distance. But I'm also, what I'm going to do there is I'm not going to follow through correctly because I'm worried about getting it where I want to go. So I always want to be moving forward just as fast or a little bit quicker than I moved it back. So again, I have it here in my hands. I go back. I step forward and release, holding that finish. And that is how you toss correctly in 4 steps. Now, we're going to do a little bit of a tossing tournament later on in the week. Hopefully have some fun as a class with that. But the first thing I want you to do today is be able to practice tossing correctly with the 4 steps. I know I'm being obnoxious with it, but it is what it is. Making sure that we're going back, step, forward, and release. And we're going to practice it. You need a couple different objects. Number 1, a plate. It can be a paper plate, plastic plate, glass plate. Just get a plate. If you don't have a plate, use something that's around this kind of size. You're going to put that plate on the ground. The second thing that I want you to use are coins. Pennies, nickels, dimes, quarters, etc. And so what you're going to do is you're just going to practice that first, tossing this onto the plate. So my plate is my target. I'm trying to toss these onto the plate. And so you'll see I'm practicing those 4 things I just worked on, making sure I'm going back, stepping with the opposite foot, forward and following through. Again, aiming at my target right there. After I feel comfortable with that, then you can play a couple different games with this. So for instance, in my hand right now, I have 10 pennies and 2 nickels. So I have 20 cents. So my goal for this game is to take these and score at least 15 points. Okay, nickels are worth 5 each. The pennies are worth 1. So I'm going to be tossing, trying to get to that number. So you can play this game with any kind or any amount of coins you want. And again, just try to challenge yourself. So a perfect score for me would be that 20. So I'm giving myself basically 1 miss with the nickel or 5 misses with the penny. So I'm going to start off the warm up just with the pennies, just to get a view of it. So I toss. There's 1, 2, nickel, 7, nickel, 12, penny, 13, 14, 15, ooh, missed it, 15, and you'll see 16, you get into a rhythm, 17, 18 of tossing to a target. So once you get comfortable with that, then you can move back to a further away distance. And so as you're playing this game, move back more and more. You could also challenge somebody in the household. You can play for different amounts. You can also make it a good workout as well. So instead of at the end of this lesson choosing a choice workout, you can create your own workout with this game by putting a little bit of pressure on yourself. So every miss I have to do 5 push-ups, or every miss I have to do 5 jumping jacks. And so you can make it an exercise game and put that internal pressure as you're tossing to see if you can hold up underneath that pressure. So a couple different things, making sure that we're practicing this, because like I said, on Wednesday, next time I see you live, we will be doing this in a different format, challenging some teammates. You're gonna need a couple different things. You can find those in the description on Google Classroom of what the items you need for Wednesday's competition, but make sure you grab those, make sure you toss it correctly with those 4 steps, get some practice at home, a little coin toss, and we'll see you next time in virtual PE.